First of all, I would like to say pleasant morning to our respected Professor Dr. Judith Bayos Maigi and to you, my dear classmates. Welcome to my presentation. Let me start by saying just a few words about my own background. So let me introduce myself. I'm Jenny Reyes Literal, a secondary school teacher too and a guidance advocate designate of Gonzalo Alar National High School, Capalonga District, Division of Camarines Norte. As you can see on the screen, it is my pleasure today to talk with you. The topic assigned to me is all about the hiring process. Today's topic is of a particular interest to those who want to apply in a company or in a department of education. In this presentation, I focused on the hiring process in DepEd. Through the effective supervision of instruction, administrators can reinforce and enhance teaching practices that will contribute to improve student learning by skillfully analyzing performance and appropriate data. Administrators can provide meaningful feedback and direction to teachers that can have a profound effect on the learning that occurs in each classroom. Because student learning is the primary function of the schools, the effective supervision of instruction is one of the most critical functions of the administrator. If schools are to provide equal access to quality educational programs for all students, administrators must hold teachers accountable for providing an appropriate and well-planned program. These programs include a variety of teaching strategies designed to meet the diverse needs of all students in our complex society. To start off by, what does a hiring process mean? Hiring process refers to the process of finding, selecting, and hiring new employees to a company. This process has three key segments: planning, recruitment, and employee selection. It also includes the process of reviewing applications, selecting the right candidates to interview, testing candidates, choosing between candidates to make the hiring decision, and performing various pre-employment tests and checks, and interview selected candidates. So in this point, what is the hiring process for teachers? Candidates are interviewed by an administrator or by a committee, which may include an administrator and staff from individual schools. Interviews are often scheduled at the school where the vacancy exists. Candidates will also be asked to complete a writing sample during the interview as part of the process. I'd like you to inform about the different teacher employment process. As an administrator of a company or in a school, how would you hire? Step number 1 is application. Individuals seeking employment must submit a completed online application and upload a letter of interest, resume, and a copy of certification. Additional documents may also be uploaded for review. When the above information and materials are received via our online applicant tracking system, applications are reviewed for possible employment. Next is step number 2 is screening. All applicants are reviewed to determine if the applicants meets the credential requirements for the designated subject or grade level. Applications are then reviewed to determine the most suitable candidates for current and anticipated vacancies. Next is step number 3, position interviews. When a vacancy occurs, interviews are scheduled for applicants whose qualifications make them most suitable for the position. The applicant should bring to the interview undergraduate and graduate transcripts, NJ teaching certificate, practice scores, 3 most recent teachers' evaluation or student teaching evaluations, and letters of reference. If they were not previously submitted online, candidates are interviewed by an administrator or by a committee, which may include an administrator and staff from individual schools. Interviews are often scheduled at the school where the vacancy exists. Candidates will also be asked to complete a writing sample during the interview as part of the process. Candidates may be asked to interview for several positions at different times as a result of this process. Individuals not recommended for a specific vacancy will continue to be considered for other positions. Next is step number 4, the demonstration lesson. If an applicant is found to be a viable candidate for the vacancy after the initial interview, the candidate will be asked to conduct a demonstration lesson in the subject or grade level for which the application was made. The administrator will advise the candidate of the topic of the lesson and any other essential information that may be needed. Next is step number 5, central office interviews. Now, after candidates are interviewed and have conducted a demonstration lesson, the administrator or committee makes recommendations to the superintendent of schools, and at this time, an interview will be scheduled with administrators in the Central Administration Office. Now, this interview may include a combination of the following: superintendent, assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction, human resources director, assistant director, and principal. Step number 6, appointment. Appointment to a position is made by the Board of Education. On the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, after the candidate has agreed, orally or in writing, to accept the terms and conditions of employment that the superintendent is prepared to recommend. When the offer of employment is made, a tentative salary placement is determined based on available information from the application. Final salary placement is based upon verification of prior years' experience and reset of official transcripts. Transcripts must verify the awarding of credit by an accredited university, with all units being converted to semestral units. New employees are required to have a completed new job, DOE criminal history affidavit, and proof of fingerprinting on file in the Human Resource Office prior to the start of employment. Documentation of a tuberculosis, Montauk skin test, and physical examination are also required. The last one is the step number 7, which is the orientation. So the new hires are provided a packet of information regarding health, dental benefits, certificated contract, and other items related to employment. A new teacher orientation program is provided in August prior to the first work day. Experienced teachers are available as resources prior to the start of the school year. Support is also provided to provisional teachers through the NJDOE mentor program. Next slide is the recruitment, selection, and placement system for public school teachers. The recruitment, selection, and placement system is a core component of the overall strategic human resource management system of the Department of Education, ensuring that the organization and its manpower are able to respond to challenges and opportunities of the 21st century with focus on the delivery of quality, accessible, relevant, and liberating basic education. Now, this system includes policies and processes on application, evaluation, selection, and appointment for teaching positions pursuant to the 1987 Constitution, the Administrative Code of 1987, and Civil Service Rules and Regulations. To illustrate the general process on recruitment and selection based on DepEd Order Number 29, Series 2002, the so-called DepEd Merit Selection Plan. First, posting of vacancies at least 10 calendar days. Next, creation of Personnel Selection Board. After the creation, submission of applications. Then, assessment of the appointing authority, followed by posting of selection lineup at least 15 calendar days. After the posting, screening and evaluation of applications. And the last process, posting of appointments at least 15 calendar days. Let's now look at the next slide, which shows how do I apply in DepEd or in the Department of Education. First, coordinate with the school's division office in your locality. Next, refer to the memorandum or call for applications issued by the SDO. Vacant positions, salary grade, qualification standards, documentary requirements, list and timeline of activities, and the deadlines. Next, attend orientations for applicants, if any, organized by the SDO. Due to COVID-19, SDOs may employ alternative strategies and platforms. Example, online, telephone, in the conduct of the following recruitment and selection process. Publication and posting of vacancies, submission and receipt of application, documents, interview, demonstration teaching, document review, PSB deliberations. I'd like us to focus our attention in the significance of qualification standards. What are the qualification standards? The qualification standards are the minimum qualifications in terms of education, training, experience, eligibility as required by the CSC or the Civil Service Commission. Now, what are the quality standard and minimum qualifications for Teacher 1, position in elementary and junior high school? First is the education in elementary, Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education or any bachelor's degree plus 18 professional units in education. While in junior high school, also took up the Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education with appropriate major or any bachelor's degree plus 18 professional units in education. Training, non-required. Experience, non-required. Eligibility, PBET or LET. What are the documentary requirements for K-12 teachers applicants? First, CSC Form 212, personal data sheet or in 2 copies with latest 2x2 ID pictures. Certified copy of ratings obtained in the LET or PBET. Certified copy of transcript of records. Copies of service records, performance rating, and school clearance. Copies of certificates of specialized trainings, if any. Certified copy of voter's ID or any proof of residency. NBI clearance, then omnibus certification of authenticity and veracity. So, are you all following me so far? Now, what are the quality standard and minimum qualification for Teacher 1 position in senior high school? In education, academic, sports, arts and design bachelor's degree majoring in the relevant track or strand, subject, or any bachelor's degree with at least 15 units of specialization in the relevant track and strand and subject. PVL, bachelor's degree or technical vocational course in the area of specialization, training. Academic, sports, arts and design, non-required. PBL, at least NC2, appropriate to the specialization experience, non-required. Eligibility. Performance, permanent position, PBET or LET, provisional or contractual, non-required. Now, what are the documentary requirements for senior high school teaching position? First, letter of intent. Letter of intent is stated there, the statement of purpose and expression of interest. Subject group, he or she intends to teach. Preferred school or schools, if any. CSC Form 212 or the personal data sheet in 2 copies with latest 2x2 ID picture. Copies of certificates of relevant specialized trainings, if any. Certified copy of voter's ID or any proof of residency, NBI clearance. Omnibus certification of authenticity and veracity of all documents submitted, signed by applicant. Can I apply for higher teaching positions? Yes, provided they pass the quality standard and minimum qualification for said position being applied for. Only teaching positions in the senior high school have higher position open to external applicants. Can I teach in senior high school without being a LET passer? Yes, but only on a provisional or contractual basis. What is a provisional appointment? Only applicable in senior high school teaching positions. So it refers to an appointment issued to an appointee who meets quality standard, education, training, and experience, except the eligibility, lacks of PBET or LET, but only in the absence of available PBET and LET. Eligible applicants qualified for the position to be filled. Incumbent is given 5 years to pass the LET. Okay. Renewable every year for 5 consecutive years. Now, how about a contractual appointment? A contractual appointment may be given to those who obtains a rating of 70 points, but opts for a contractual appointment, usually practitioners, or those have not passed the LET but obtained a ratings of 65 to 69, to be considered only if RQA has been exhausted and there are still vacancies. A contractual appointment is also limited to part-timers. How will I be assessed? What are the criteria for ranking? Applicants are evaluated based on the following criteria per track, K to 12, 100 points. So it is composed of education, 20 points, experience, 15 points, let and pivot rating, 15 points, specialized training, 10 points, interview, 10 points, demonstration teaching, 15 points, English communication skills is 15 points. So the total of 100 points. How about the senior high school for academic and core subjects track? It is composed of education, 20 points, experience, 15 points, specialized training, 10 points, interview, 15 points, demonstration teaching, 20 points, English communication skills is 10 points, portfolio, outstanding achievement, 10 points. For TBL track, it is also a total of 100 points and composed of education, experience, specialized training, interview, demonstration teaching, English communication skills, portfolio outstanding achievements, a total of 100 points. For arts and design track, also 100 points. Same composition and points. For sports and track, also have a total points of 100 points. Same composition, education, experience, specialized training, interview, demonstration teaching, English communication skills, portfolio and outstanding achievements. How does the scheduling of English proficiency test work? The division testing coordinator shall coordinate with Bureau of Education Assessment for the schedule of the conduct of the EPT. Due to COVID-19, EPT may be administered online. Face-to-face tests may resume when community quarantine and physical distancing protocols permit travel and gatherings. Applicants may coordinate with the concerned SDO on the schedule and status of EPT administration. Is it a ground for disqualification if I were not able to take the EPT? No. The applicant's inability to take EPT shall not be a ground for their disqualification. No EPT result shall only mean no score under the EPT criterion set in DepEd order. Henceforth, applicants who have met the cutoff score in spite of the absence of an EPT score shall still be included in the Registry of Qualified Applicants or the RQA. What is a registry of qualified applicants or the RQA? Is there a cutoff? The RQA is the list of applicants who meet the cutoff score of 70 points. There is a separate RQA for the following: kindergarten and elementary, junior high school by specializations, senior high school by subject groups. The RQA is posted in conspicuous places in the SDO. How would I know if I get accepted? Coordinate with the concerned SDO, particularly the HRMO, may refer to the notice of appointment issued posted in the website or bulletin boards of the SDO concerned. Now, that is the end of our discussion. Thank you for listening. So, quiz time!